But recently, a lot of y'all were asking me, you know, why didn't they tell the world that I was the fastest person in the world? I mean, let's face it, man. It's a wolf situation. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the sheeple people, they're afraid of the big bad wolf. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's faster, he's quicker, he's more agile, he's, more cunning. But yes, I do have the fastest track time in the world. That's true. Okay, I do have a faster track time than Usain Bolt. A lot of y'all don't know this. When I was younger, I was a youth Olympian. Okay, but I dropped out of track and field. They offered me a role in Prefontaine, and I turned it down. Uh, they offered me a lot of stuff, and I turned it all down. Uh, but in my youth, I ran track and field with the Cougars in Washington State, and I ran with some of the fastest people in the nation. And they have somehow covered up all this information. Uh, like one of the guys, I believe his name was Conrad. He was like 12. He was the fastest person in the nation. Another guy was like Nick Miles. He was like 13, 14. He was like the fastest person in the nation. I had raced against all of them because I was actually on the same track team as them. Uh, and it was just kind of playing around or whatnot. But I had beat all of them in a race. You know, at a young age, I was competing against some of the fastest people in the nation. But a lot of people don't know that. But anyway, I ran in a Hershey meet in Washington State. It's a Kitsap County Hershey meet. I ran the 1500. Okay. But they got smart. They realized that I was fast. Okay. Because I played football and they said every time I get the ball, I score a touchdown. And they realized at a young age that I was real fast. And they was putting me up against the fastest runners in the world all the time. And basically what happened is I ran the 1500 and I was in front of everybody. And when we got about halfway, they clocked me for a 100-yard dash. And I ran faster than anybody in the world. And they could not believe this. But when I finished the 1,500-yard run, I was I finished third. But when I ran the 100-yard dash, I was in front of everybody. I was way in front of everybody. However, when I looked my name up on the list, I was, statistically, time ranked, I was at the bottom of the list. They had me, my time was one of the slowest they had in the county at the time. So I don't know what it was, if my mind just clicks or if it's a mental thing. They don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is, and they're studying it. They're trying to understand, how can he all of a sudden, if he's unaware, run faster than anyone in the world? Like like they think I have something mentally going on with me or something because I'm the fastest person in the world. But it's nothing mentally or anything. I don't like to run. I'm not much of a runner. I acknowledge I'm one of the fastest person in the world. But that doesn't mean that I need to get up every day and just run around every day. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean, you know, that I need to do those sorts of things if I don't want to do those sorts of things. You know, and that was my mentality. I didn't want to run. I didn't like running. Like matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something. I was so fast at running that one day I ran, and I have it on tape. I ran, and this is what made me stop running. I ran so fast that I literally, it felt like I time traveled or something. And I was shocked that I could do this. But one day it happened. I was just like, my adrenaline was pumping, and uh, I just had a lot of fuel, a lot of juice in me. And I just took off. However, I ran in almost like a circle, you know, did about a 180 or something like that. And I realized I could like time travel or something. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what I was doing, but it was altering my reality. It was altering my state of reality. And that's what caused me to say, you know what? I don't want to run anymore. I'm done. You know, I have ran so fast now that I'm altering, my reality. I'm coming out of my shoes all the time now. And believe it or not, they don't even make the right type of shoes or anything for me, you know, to compete on levels as far as, being the fastest runner in the world. And so, you know, it is what it is. I'm the fastest person in the world. I don't uh, disagree with that. Uh, you know, the time that I put in was 9.0. And I don't believe that there's going to be someone that can beat my record.